Yeah. I got it.
Welcome everybody to another Heel Heat. Let's go, Money in the Bank pay-per-view. I got the Cash King in, Jaquan. I got
Yes,
the one
sir.
you want to bask in his glory, Benny, and myself, the man on the mic, Paulinho. All right, let's go, fellas. So tonight, pretty much, we're recording Friday morning. So tonight, pretty much, it's the first live WWE event or show with the fans on it, and it's the go home show for Money in the Bank. I don't know. I they might pull off some swerves maybe tonight. I'm not sure if they do, but I don't think it's gonna be too much to kind of like affect the pay-per-view this weekend. So let's get started with the men's Money in the Bank. We have Ricochet, John Morrison, Riddle, Drew McIntyre, Big E, Kevin Owens, King Nakamura, and Seth Rollins. Four from each show. Jay, what's your look
Okay,
on this?
so my big pick is gonna be Riddle because I feel like that's what like he can do the most with it right now, and then they have the whole Randy Orton thing. So it may end up being it's a swerve the way they had last year, and Randy Orton ends up with the Money in the Bank.
Okay.
But my surprise pick, and it's a theory that I've heard floating around the internet, it's Big E.
Ooh.
And the theory is that Big E would win it, and Kofi would have a surprise win against Bobby Lashley, and E would cash in on Bobby. E would cash in on Kofi that night. And that would basically cement his flip to Raw without having to do the whole draft thing and it get messy.
I hate it.
I don't know.
But it seems very likely.
Oh, of course it does.
It does, but I hate it too as well because I don't see him going that crazy with the split of the New Day.
I don't either, but the more and more I hear, the more and more likely it seems.
Yeah, at that point you have Big E going heel though. I don't see him doing that.
Yeah,
I don't see him doing that.
Well, if you take what I heard earlier this week, where they had that report out that Big E was saying they were pitching them splitting the New Day up around Kofi Mania and having Kofi do that on his own. And the New Day shot it down. They said, no, we're not doing this. This is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if they still have the idea to do it, it's definite possibility. I just hate the idea.
I mean, it's a way that you can do it where you don't split up the New Day. And instead you have it be Kofi, like, you know what? I respect it because you got to take the opportunity that you can. And I've already been champion. So as long as one of us champion, all of us are champion. And he kind of just takes a step back. So effectively, you have it happen, but you don't have it where it's malicious from E. It's just business.
Yeah, if he steps up and he's just like, listen, if Kofi manages to come away with the title, which I doubt is happening, but if he manages to come away with the championship, and E was just like, all right, listen, I want to do this man to man. You're still my brother, but at the same time, we're both competitors and we both want this title. So I'm cashing in as a baby face. I'm cashing in advance. I want to do this X, Y, and Z win, next pay-per-view or something like that.
I mean, I can see.
I'm with that, but
I can see that, but I can also see it. Here's the thing: I can see it happening where Kofi wins, and then Woods has like this moment, and then Big E's music hits, and they just have like this stare down, and E gets into the ring and stares down Kofi, and they do the whole like, okay, we gonna do this, okay, and then he hands it in. And then, because you know how Kofi is, Kofi's game, and Woods is like, "What are you
Kofi's
doing?
Always game.
What are you doing?" And Woods kind of gives him, and then Kofi kind of gives him like the pat back, like, "Nah. It's supposed to be like."
If you want to do the heel route, the best way to do it.
I don't want to do the heel route. That's the point. I don't want him being a heel.
I know.
I'm trying to avoid him being a heel.
I know, but I'm saying if you want to do the heel route, right? This is how you do it. We're gonna go a little way off a bit. You have him stay on SmackDown. You have him make it believe he's chasing Roman, and then like say Kofi fights somebody next pay-per-view and he's like just wobbly when he gets up, and you have Big E just coming out and cashing in. But you don't have him coming out like you think he's like, oh, I want to help my boy, right? And then he's like he sees him and then he drops him with his finisher, cashes in, and then boom, you're like, done. Can you imagine the heat he's gonna get off of that, bro? That's like Dean Ambrose, like Seth Rollins type of heat.
Yeah, that's a legit heel heat.
You know what would be funny though? I would sit up here and I would laugh at it just because they did this mess once before, but they did it with the 24/7 title. Do you remember how Mike Kanellis got the title off of Maria?
Nope.
Yeah, it was like
she was doing some type of a pregnancy check or whatever, and he hugged her, and a ref walked in the room, and they counted the 3 count while he was hugging her. Say they did some nonsense like that, like he pulled some sneaky nonsense where Kofi wins the title and the two of them are hugging. They just end up on the floor somehow, and he just hands the ref the briefcase.
You just what are you doing, man? What are you doing?
I could see that as far as like for the New Day, that would just be hilarious.
It would be. Mm-hmm. It definitely would be.
Yeah. So going back, Benny, who you got in this men's Money in the Bank?
My number 1 pick is Big E. I see it being more so and a lot of people, along with the Big E heel turn type idea. The other idea is that Lashley is just going to beat the living hell out of both Woods and Kofi, and then E is going to be the one that comes out to save them in the end. And that's kind of the idea that I have. That's my big pick, my 2-point pick. My second pick, I kind of hate myself for, is Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
And I'm saying Seth Rollins because of the fact that I kind of sort of in the vein of I want to see paranoid Roman Reigns, because
I want to see the rerun of I think it was WrestleMania 31 when he ran out the long ass Titantron. Yeah. But I want to see that happen again. Like I want to see them literally do the exact same thing. And I want to see him yell like Roman getting up. I want to hear "Gotcha, bitch," and then do the curb stomp.
That right there, like I said, I want to see paranoid Roman, because if you think about it, the way they've played this on SmackDown is like just about everybody Roman talks down to them, except Seth Rollins. Like he tries, but the way Rollins responds to him, he don't play that shit.
He's like, come on,
just
bro.
like
just don't,
whatever,
don't.
Man. It is what it
like
is.
You can do that shit with everybody else. We've been through way too many damn wars for you to come to try to holler at me like that, dog.
I know.
Stop.
That's that. I'm just like, the way they got this junk set up, like that could be a really nice looking thing going forward, and it's not something that has to pay off immediately.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't have to pay off right now.
No, it has a whole year. Has a whole year.
I wouldn't even hate it if like they went through with the whole Rock WrestleMania thing, and then Roman finally has that moment, and then you hear Rollins' music hit at WrestleMania, a la WrestleMania 31.
But you hear Burn It Down, like the original Burn It Down.
No, I don't want them to go back to that. They're not going to go back to that.
I think they will,
they're not going to go back to that.
If they ever plan on turning Rollins face again, that they need to go back to that one.
I don't think they're going to turn him face. I don't think he wants
they are
to
either.
face.
I think Rollins is better as a heel.
He is.
But I say if they plan on going that route, then you want to do something that gets the best as far as crowd response. Right. Whereas, not comparing the two of them as wrestlers, but just from a musical standpoint, Burn It Down, and this is blasphemy saying this, Burn It Down for the time that Rollins was a face was kind of sort of the glass shattering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
All right. So for me, it was a little difficult because I broke it down like this: Ricochet, Rico, and Morrison are there for the big spots, the high flying moves. We all know that. Nakamura and KO and Riddle are, as much as I hate to say this because I'm a big Kevin Owens fan, they're just there to fill in the bodies.
They're there for fluff and for their name.
So it left me with the last three: Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, and Big E. Big E was the bridesmaid on this one for me. So then I had to break it down between Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins. So I'm looking at this. I'm like, Vince being Vince will probably give it to Drew McIntyre, but doesn't realize that the fans kind of want to move away from him for a little bit.
Well, again,
break.
if they do that and he goes to SmackDown and chase Roman, that's a different story.
Mm-hmm.
It is. But the fact that is that he'll still be in the picture, kind of, sort of on the Raw. Because remember, they can flip until he permanently moves over there, which end up being when he has the match. That's when he'll fully move over there. So then I was like, Seth Rollins. I was like, that's a safe pick. Like you can't go wrong with Seth. So I ended up going with Seth. So I kind of flipped mine from Benny's. That's why I laughed when Benny said his pick. I was like, God, like to save it, just flip them around. They flipped them around. But yeah, I think Seth is going to be the one that wins it. I think it'll be him. It'll be him and Big E, like at the top. And I just think something's going to happen with Big E just like missing it, like somebody giving him a power bomb or something, and leaves the path open for Rollins to climb up the ladder completely.
One other thing we got to take into account, I just heard this earlier in the week too. They pushed back the draft from the end of August to the very beginning of October. So if they plan on doing something with this Big E moving over to Raw, unless he wins the Money in the Bank, it's not going to happen for a while. So he's kind of sort of just going to be stagnant on SmackDown for a minute.
Yeah.
Yep.
And moving on to the women's Money in the Bank, we have Asuka, Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Nikki A.S.H, Liv Morgan, Zelina Vega, Natalya, and Tamina.
There's really only two choices. There's only two choices to me here. If you're gonna play this smart, let's say you probably won't.
Go ahead, Jay.
I think my pick is gonna be Liv Morgan, but my surprise pick is Nikki A.S.H. And those are the only two that make sense to me.
Really?
Only two that make sense to me. Anything else doesn't make sense. Just
we're talking Vince.
Bro. Okay. The only other person that would make sense that's kind of a left field, like, okay, is Alexa Bliss. And the only way that works is if they go back, if her tweet means anything, then it makes sense. Because she tweeted a bunch of emojis that basically said she's not doing the ghosting anymore. She's going back to being the goddess. So they're about to drop her whole Fiend gimmick.
I swear.
So that just I hate to break it to you, but
sometimes
that's the direction that they're teasing. They're about to drop the whole Fiend gimmick with her.
Sometimes they really need to figure out an end game to some of this stuff before they actually, pull a trigger on, starting it.
Mm-hmm. So, but that's why Alexa, because of the fact that I don't really know what the fuck they're doing with Alexa Bliss. That's why I'm not picking her. Liv Morgan, I know right now is a favorite. And even if she loses, they can use her loss to continue to build her character. But if she wins, all the more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're going to put on Zelina Vega with no story, no nothing, her just coming back.
I don't think they're going to put it on Zelina Vega for other reasons.
Well, there's that.
More than,
especially with the fact that her husband's about to go off and face Cody at whatever the next pay-per-view for them is.
Mm-hmm.
And he's getting a huge push from what I heard.
And she's probably going to be a monster.
He is because so what I heard was Cody's got to take some time off because he has to record a season 2 of whatever show he has on TBS. Mm-hmm. So before he goes, pretty much he's losing to Black because of the fact that he has to go off. So pretty much Black is going to beat the snot out of him to kind of kayfabe storyline, send him away.
And I think they're going to try to make him like their version of Undertaker.
There's various reports I heard that they're going to do something with the Dark Order. I got to start watching it and see what happens because apparently the Dark Order had to go a separate route because of the passing of Brody.
So yeah, right now they're just backing up Hangman.
Yeah. So it's kind of like they're kind of like the Spirit Squad kind of sort of.
Yeah.
And that's when they're supposed to go because they don't know where to go with it. So what I heard was that there's a 2 or 3 of them in there that kind of want to continue with the Dark Order storyline. and they're leaning on like making Aleister Black the leader of the Dark Order.
Makes sense.
Then push out like the comedic acts from their group and push them out. So that's what I'm saying. I think I'm gonna start watching to see how it goes. Benny,
you can watch it and report back, because I can't watch that shit for more than 15 minutes, so I'll go to sleep.
Benny, what's your thoughts on this match for the women?
That's funny. I was actually off Wednesday, and I didn't watch any bit of AEW either. I was just watching the basketball game. As far as the Money in the Bank match, you got my top pick right behind me. That's Liv Morgan. Before Jay told me, because I didn't see the Tamina thing. Before Jay said that that Tamina had just been added to the match out of nowhere, I was actually gonna say whoever the to be announced was gonna be the winner.
Oh well, Becky Lynch is actually supposed to be there too, but we don't know.
I heard that. The other idea, like I said, the rumor that was rolling around before that is that Sonya Deville was gonna announce herself as the eighth participant in it, which
love that. Would have loved that.
I would have absolutely loved that as well, because I'm like, you got to do something with her. There has to be some type of plan with it. But then again, this is
I'll get to it.
No,
you're not gonna like it though.
So my second pick, my number 2 pick, is going to be Alexa Bliss. I was initially on the Nikki A.S.H thing, but this was before she became Nikki A.S.H. I was if you guys remember correctly, the last the last pay-per-view we did, which I honestly don't even remember what it was at this point. What was it, Hell in a Cell? I said the idea was, Charlotte wins the championship at Hell in a Cell, and then out of nowhere you get Nikki winning Money in the Bank and inserting herself into Charlotte versus Becky at SummerSlam, or something like that. But they said this was before they turned her into the superhero. And I honestly, just looking at the gimmick, even though this is her creation, I don't see Vince McMahon looking at her and saying, we can put a title on her. Because he has his type, as bad as it is to say, he has his type. And like I said, the type that I see in this match is Liv Morgan, which I'm team Liv all the way, and Alexa Bliss, which I've been on the Alexa Bliss train since she became Lady Fiend. But I don't want to see Goddess Alexa Bliss back. That's a retrain. I'm like, whatever on her. But like I said, my 2 picks: Liv at the top, Alexa Bliss number 2.
All right, let me break this one down again. Start off with Zelina Vega. As far as I know, she has no contract. Hers is she's getting paid per appearance, because she'll still try to hash out her stuff. Because the thing is, remember, she has her OnlyFans and her Twitch account. So, and she makes more money off of that than she does wrestling. So, she ain't partnering with those things. So they're trying to hash out that contract. That's why I don't think she's gonna win, because for all they know, they might not be able to hash it out and put that money in the bank on her. Not gonna work. Natalya and Tamina, out the window. They're tag team champions. You can't put that on them. Done. Bye. In regards to Naomi, I like her, but the way they've been playing her, I just don't see it.
Yeah, she's cold.
She's enhancement talent at this point.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that, because she's so talented. You know what I'm saying?
They don't get her character. That's the biggest thing. They don't know how to write for her. They don't
know how to write for anybody that's not the top 4. Well,
I don't know how to write for anyone that's not white. Let's keep it a stack.
No, they've never known how to write for anybody that wasn't white. Never.
Which is why the only time you have successful Black characters is if there's someone who they trust to do something else, a la MVP with the whole MVP thing.
Or let them be hands-on with it.
Yep.
So
they can't write for Black people.
Yeah, Nikki.
So that's why I have no. That's why I wanted Naomi to join the Hurt Business.
Yeah.
Or the Bloodline, and they're not doing either one.
Yeah, and Nikki A.S.H, I think it's too early to give her a push. In regards to Liv Morgan, yeah, don't make that face. Don't make that face, Jake. It's too early. They just introduced a character. It's too early. In regards to Liv Morgan, I think the way I'm looking at it, they're going to push her rivalry with Sonya Deville on TV. And that's why I'm saying it. And it's going to come to a start right here. Liv Morgan is she's climbing the ladder. She's about to win it. Next thing you know, you see Sonya running down the ramp, busting her ass, taking her out. Liv ain't going to win it. That's why I say Liv's not going to win it. And I could probably see that's when Becky Lynch makes her appearance to help out Liv, get Sonya off of her. But I still don't see Liv. I see it Alexa Bliss and Asuka. That's my second pick.
Ew.
I know.
Yeah.
You have to remember who we're dealing with here. Vince likes the security blankets.
That's what I'm saying. He wonder why his ratings are bad.
It's a lot more than just that, bro. It's a lot more than just that. Yeah.
We can start there at the very least.
Of course. Yeah, so that's what I see. I see Alexa Bliss winning it, and then Asuka being my second pick there. And I could probably see maybe Asuka like doing something for Becky, like, hey, like maybe she gets hurt later on, and she's like, you know what, I'm hurt because of what happened last year. I'm giving you my Money in the Bank briefcase, so you can cash whenever you want. That's
hella corny, but
it is corny, but it's a quick way to get Becky back into the title picture like that.
I was about to say this is one of the reasons why I hated myself for my Seth Rollins pick was the fact that I don't like established stars winning the Money in the Bank, because those established stars can legitimately just walk in like, yo, give me a title shot, and it's over. And they have one. So I didn't like the idea that people were coming up with when they said, oh, Becky Lynch is going to be the last member that's coming in, to the Money in the Bank. I'm like, she doesn't need that. Becky Lynch walks back in, she's immediately in the title picture.
You know what would be wild, though? There's one title that Becky hasn't won that the rest of the horsewomen have won.
Tag titles. And the NXT.
That I could.
But see, here's the thing. If we look at all the winners of the Money in the Bank briefcase, they're all established. Majority of them are established stars. There's only a handful or a few that weren't or are not established stars when they won it. So to say that it needs to be an established star, like you're going against how they've been doing it for like a lot since.
No, I'm just saying I don't like it.
No, I agree.
I don't like it.
It only works in certain cases.
It only works if there's a hot rivalry.
I'm like, I see your point, but I agree and kind of disagree. Like the reason I agree is like because of the fact you want to give somebody a shot with that and go with it, but it has to be somebody they've been working and building upon. And that's the issue I have, because when's the last time they've done that with somebody? You know what I'm saying? And that's why I say I kind of agree with you. But the reason I disagree with is because of the fact that they don't do it. So what they do, they go to established star to give it to them.
And that's the part that annoys me. Like back in the day, John Cena wins the Money in the Bank. Why? Why does John Cena, of all people, need the Money in the Bank briefcase? When you did it with Randy Orton, when you started the Authority, I got you, because you're starting an angle. I have no issue with that. Because like I said, that there's a plan with that. There's a story that's being built around it. But if you're sitting up here and you're just going to throw the Money in the Bank briefcase on, God forbid, Becky Lynch, you're going to throw it on Sasha Banks. None of them need that.
Yeah.
Oh, well. We gonna see.
What's that?
We gonna see. I said we gonna see.
Yeah, going to. All right. So go on next match. This is one that
hurts your soul on the inside.
It does, because I'm like, they can screw it up so bad. I'll be so pissed if they go the route that they I think they're gonna go. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair.
Oh, I know the route they're gonna go. I know the route they're going to go.
Ahead,
there is
Benny.
absolutely.
Ahead,
I'm putting this out there right now. I am banging the table right now, saying that Charlotte Flair is not leaving without this title. This is the setup. If Becky is there, you have your SummerSlam, women's main event right there. Charlotte wins the championship. Becky returns. I don't see any. I honestly don't see anything more of a surefire from them than that.
And it's easy enough to hot shot the title off of Charlotte. So
yep.
And
I say because when she wins, they don't care about her having a long reign anymore. It's just building the numbers.
Yep.
So, like I said, I got Charlotte.
Murder Rhea Ripley. So it's not like they don't care about the sacrificing Rhea Ripley at this point. So
nah. We found that out at WrestleMania last year.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Charlotte as well.
All right.
I'm gonna leave it there.
I'm gonna be the loner, hold out hope, and I'll go with Rhea.
That may be an easy point because I don't see it.
I mean, they gave her the win this past WrestleMania, but it was like
I wouldn't really call it a win.
But it was like one of those like, oh, we're trying to make it up for you. Give you WrestleMania, all that stuff, and like, but that's not enough, bro.
Yeah,
like
because she can beat Charlotte, she beat Asuka.
Yeah, and not just that, but it's like, yo, you don't understand what you did to this woman. Like, you literally messed her up, like on the mental part, confidence part, like completely.
She's a young kid too.
Yeah,
so I think for them it's more like, oh, she's 25, she'll get over it.
Yeah, but it's not about that.
I'm like, up.
It is, because of the fact that like this is a woman that you can build and be your next star, but they're too busy on like the current ones. It's like, no, like build. Then when she's gone and the other ones are gone, you'd be like, well, we don't have anybody left. Like, no, you did, but you just pretty much pushed her out because of the fact that you were concerned with those four. All right, on to the next one. Bobby Lashley versus Kofi Kingston. This one
is tough because it's a cash-in candidate.
And the thing is, the fact that the way Monday Night ended and like how Bobby was like, cut the bullshit, which I liked. It's like, yo, I think Kofi's in trouble, and then I hear it's gonna end up being a squash match.
Yeah, I can see that. And then I'm hearing that Goldberg's set to return following Money in the Bank to challenge Bobby Lashley since they couldn't get Brock. So I'm going with Bobby. Yeah,
I'm going with Bobby Lashley as well.
I think unanimous.
One thing I did want to say on that Lashley promo, I like the fact that, you know, nobody really spoke up about it, but I like the fact that he was stumbling over himself a little bit, because it makes it, if you look into it and you think that that's intentional, then it's just like, all right, Lashley is so pissed off that he can't even like really formulate and articulate what he's saying.
And that's cool.
So then that makes him that much more dangerous.
Yeah.
That I like that.
And I was okay with it. It also sets the precedent for, even though you're moving back the draft, if he completely like takes out the New Day for the next couple of months just for, you know, to give them some rest or whatever, once you flip Big E, he comes straight for Lashley. And he can do kind of the way he did it with Sheamus, but instead of it going directly after Bobby, like he can just straight up go and attack and just straight up maul MVP. And that'll just be like the warning shot, like, bro, now I'm here. Now I'm coming for you. You thought I forgot what you did? Say less.
Yeah, the way I see his entrance being done is like more spectacular. It's like New Day starts talking crap about Bobby, joking around. He comes out, beats the side of both of them, and then he's yelling over the bodies like while they're laying there, like kind of half broken. And then you hear Biggie coming out. You're like, oh, you know what I'm saying? But it can't be like, it has to be like a surprise return. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It'll be that much better. The pop will be bigger. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. I mean, we all got Bobby on this one, obviously. Then what I think is gonna be another quick match as well is AJ Styles and Omos versus the Viking Raiders,
which is sad because I kind of want them to put the title on the Viking Raiders because
it's just
they're an actual tag team.
No, man, I think they'll. All right, my pick is the Viking Raiders, and the reason why I say is because I'm hearing that they're not happy with this tag team. Apparently, almost can't do much. They're saying it's all AJ as we see. So it's like they don't know what they're gonna do. They can't keep those belts off the TV too long. Like, when's the last time we saw them? I mean, I think it was like last pay-per-view.
As them defended?
Not just defending
like
at all.
Wrestle.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Wrestle
they were
together?
just on TV like Monday.
They've been on TV. They just
They've
haven't.
been on TV.
But like that wrestling, when was the last time? Pay-per-view, I think, right?
Pay-per-view, yeah.
Yeah.
No, almost had a
before
one-on-one
that.
match. He almost just had a one-on-one match. AJ had a match against Eric, and then almost had a match against Ivar. But it was a squash match, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think
because he can't do much.
No. And that's the thing is you have to be careful with the big guys like that because it's like they're limited by like their height and the size that they are.
And he's not mobile. It's not like he's a Braun Strowman. See, that's the thing. That's what they lost with Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
A big guy who's mobile, who can actually wrestle.
Because their problem is they're looking too much at height, and they're forgetting that when they get a certain point, they lose their mobility. Look at the great Khali. You know what I'm saying? Big Show back when he was younger, he had everything. He was like total package. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what they had in Strowman.
Yeah.
And then they fired him.
Yep. Because the whole thing was like, oh, we got guys that are bigger than him, so you're no longer the big man. I'm like, yeah, but what he brings to the table that they don't, you're not gonna get that. And
they're screwing with all the guys that are big mobile guys. That's the thing. They don't want to bring Keith Lee back. They're burying Corbin. They fired Strowman. I'm like, those were your big mobile guys. And if you're saying you have bigger guys that can't do anything, then there's no point in having bigger guys. And they're saying they want younger guys that are like over 6 foot, above 220. You're not gonna find those guys. They're all top champions in other companies. You're not gonna get those guys.
No, and they see what you do, your talent. So it's like,
yeah, and you screwed up so much talent, and you put so much talent back into the ethos, and you think that they're not gonna talk to these guys?
Yeah.
No, fuck out of here.
Yeah, because Rush was gonna go to WWE, but Andrade talked him out of it. He's like, nah, don't come here. I don't know if you heard that one.
Same thing with Moose. They would try to go and get Moose. Moose was like, nah, dog.
Yeah, I forgot who was the backup plan for him. I forgot what it was, but yeah, I heard that too. Like they were like negotiating. He was like, nah. He quickly resigned with TNA. So who you got with this one, Jay?
Who was the matchup again?
AJ and Omos versus the Viking Raiders.
I'm hoping for the Viking Raiders personally. So I'm gonna do the swing pick. I'm hoping for the Viking Raiders.
Benny?
The problem is what do you do after the Viking Raiders win? I mean, I guess you could have a rematch at SummerSlam. So like that gives you the SummerSlam match on the pre-show, but can't really do anything else with the Viking Raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna be the asshole of the group, AJ and Omos.
Maybe a way to help you recoup points. Who knows? Because I think what would be like 3 points apart or something like that.
I don't know. I gotta do the numbers. I haven't done the numbers. All right, now we got the final one, which is Roman Reigns versus Edge. For like I don't know what time already now.
They never fought. They never fought one-on-one though.
No.
Oh, no.
You only count the WrestleMania match. That's the only time they've been in the ring together.
Yeah.
So
I don't know why I'm off.
It's just the fact that it's another Roman with another part-timer, and it's another. Don't get me wrong, it's a great story. I like what they're doing, and I like the fact that they're bringing Rey Mysterio and Dominic into it because we all know that that's going to lead to them dropping the titles to the Usos. But that may take a little bit longer now with Jimmy now in legal troubles again. But yeah, it's pretty much it's Roman and the Bloodline.
Yep. Roman Reigns. The only question is, do we get Cena now or do we get Cena the next SmackDown?
Next SmackDown, he's scheduled the 23rd. This is the thing about it. There's no speculation because the report's already out. It's the 23rd. I mean, he may have a surprise appearance, but again, he's got to cut it close. And I don't think this match is going to be what everybody thinks it's going to be because he has to immediately go and shoot right after. So he's not going to do anything that's going to jeopardize his health. Since he has to go shoot, they're starting a new franchise with him being a major part of it. So I hope nobody expects this match to be
Cena Romans or
Cena Roman. It's not gonna
no.
It's probably gonna be closer to a squash match.
I wouldn't be surprised if I don't think it'll be a squash match. I think Cena have his moments, but I don't think it'll go past like 10 minutes.
Well, again, even with you got to look at it. You got to look at it this way: The Rock tore his pec DDTing Eric, or what's his face? The red beard dude from the White.
Eric Rowan.
Eric Rowan, right? He tore his pec doing a move. So, how much offense are you willing to give Cena, knowing that he can just pop a shoulder out, doing a clothesline or a shoulder tackle? Like,
I'm honestly guaranteeing the 6 moves of Doom. I'm
waiting for him to try to hit.
I want to do I want him to do the lightning fist, and I want Roman to no sell it.
It's like,
be like this,
exactly.
Like, what the fuck?
I want him to really hit him with. I want him to hit him with the Bradley Beal. Really, and then hit him with a Superman punch.
Oh man, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be a decent match. I don't think, like I said,
I think this match is going to be a squash and a comedy.
And we're talking about Roman Reigns and Cena. We're not talking about Edge and Reigns, just so people know. The Roman Reigns and Edge it's gonna go for a bit.
Yeah, you're gonna see how long Edge can go.
Well, he can go for a while. Remember, he had the greatest match ever match.
No, but I understand. I'm saying, like, now coming off this layover that he's now had, this recent layover, like, can he go with, in his opinion, his words, the best in the industry? So, and then, what kind of shenanigans are going to go on with the Usos and Ray and Dominic and all that other stuff that's probably going to be all in the background and whatnot.
Yeah.
Which will probably take up a good portion of the match.
This will be interesting because of the fact that, like, it's going to have to be a swerve somewhere. Because first one with fans, and then try and get something going on for Monday night, which has fans too. Something's got to give on that show.
I think there's just going to be appearances. I don't think there's actually going to be a swerve. Like, I could see the winner of the women's match having that moment, and then Becky Lynch's music hit. And it's just a stare down.
Yeah.
Some shit like that.
Or Becky comes in and helps out Rhea Ripley to maintain the title.
I mean, Becky looks in incredible shape. So.
Oh yeah.
That ain't nothing new.
Yeah.
No. But well, I mean, when I look at the picture, I was like, no, she looks in better. She looks in better. To be honest, I think she looked in better shape now than before she got pregnant.
Yeah. I'd say so. She had time to heal from the nicks and bruises, and then had time to heal from the baby and stuff like that. And so like it feels like she'll be she'll just be clicking on all cylinders. And CrossFit Jesus had her in the gym crazy.
2 days after giving birth.
Yeah, so like he was in there putting in work. So like she's probably on a different level right now. Yeah. Not to mention the Irish and the Brit, to me, just that story, like that the cultural story right there is just, it's tantalizing. I like that. I don't want to see Charlotte again. I don't know.
Rhea's an Aussie.
There you go. The accents confuse me. Okay, the accent just keeps screwing.
Hey, it's all right. The flag confuses me sometimes too.
Bro, I'm not even gonna go there with that. People be throwing the flags, and I'm like,
is that the British flag? Is that the Australian flag? Or is that the one from the Samoa Islands? Like, there's a bunch that look like they look similar.
Colonization at its finest, right?
Yeah. Yep. Pretty much. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't know what else we got like here going on. Like, where else do you see a swerve coming around? I mean,
I don't know. I think the only thing is, like, do we get a cash in on the night? I think the only one that you have, on
the structure of the sequence in which you go with the matches. Because I'm like, do you put the WWE match at the end with the Universal title match? Do you start off the match with the Money in the Bank match? Do you have them in the middle? Like, where are you gonna put these matches? I think that's the thing with Money in the Bank, is because you don't know the order of the matches, you don't know what the flow of the pay-per-view is going to be.
Yeah,
I think your Money in the Banks are going to bookend it. You're going to be your your women's is going to open or your men's is going to open and the other one's going to close. I think that you're going to, unless what they do is because the Roman thing. I'm not wrestling unless I'm the main event. Just for argument's sake, the Money in the Bank is the semi-main, and then Roman closes it with Edge.
But again, that takes away the mystery of the cash in.
Well, I get it, and here's how I see it. I see the men starting it off, and the women's being the co-main event. The reason why, if you look at the card, there's only one women's title on the line. So if you have the women going first, and like, oh, she's gonna cash it in. Well, if she cashes it in, whoever the winner is, it's going to be in that Rhea Ripley Charlotte Flair match. But if you have the men at the beginning and you have the winner there, and you have the two men's titles going on through the night, you're like, is he cashing in here tonight? Right? In this match?
Yeah.
No, maybe at the end. You know what I'm saying? That brings the mystique if it's like a cash in or not. But when you only have one of the two, it's like, and once that match is gone, you're like, okay, there's no mystique no more.
Yeah, so and then, like I said, my thing right now with me and how I believe this thing is going to go is 100% agenda driven. Because, like I said, if you get E winning the Money in the Bank briefcase, you're talking about the possibility of him going out there, saving Kofi, saving Woods, cashing in maybe cashing in at that point, if not just teasing the cash in. If you put the women's on first, where are we going with that?
Right. Yeah. That's why I agree with you.
It's like where are we going with that? I doubt seriously you're going to get a cash in on the women's side because on top of the fact that out of the Money in the Bank winners for the women, I think we've had 4, and 3 of them have been resolved in like a day. You got to have somebody hold that briefcase for at least a month.
Which is why I said Nikki A.S.H.
Yeah, because like, what's her name? Asuka won it, and she got handed the title the next night because of Becky being pregnant.
Right. Yeah.
Bayley wins it. She cashes in the same night. Alexa Bliss wins it. She cashes in the same night. You got to have somebody hold that one. I don't see them continuing to do that with the women.
It makes sense. It definitely does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that didn't cash in immediately was James Ellsworth. I mean, Carmella.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
But then too, you also, I love the fact that what I would love, honestly, because the swerve that got me was they're keeping this title on Karrion Kross for reasons I don't understand. An interesting swerve would be whoever wins the men's Money in the Bank showing up on NXT. Yeah. Because right now they have nothing for the main title on NXT.
Who are the men's participants again?
What's that?
The men's participants. Who are they again? Because I know you got E, you got Rollins, you got Nakamura, Owens,
McIntyre,
which isn't happening.
Riddle,
Rico,
and John Morrison.
John Morrison.
Yeah, that's how I said. It was like Rico and John Morrison are there for the high flyer. Riddle, Owens,
it would be some
Nakamura
shit if Rico won though.
Body there.
It would be some shit if Rico won.
It would be. It would be.
I would love it.
I would love it myself.
I would love it,
especially if he went down to NXT and won the NXT title like he should have when he was there.
The only one I see pulling that off is Kevin Owens.
I
mean, tell me how dope it wouldn't be for Drew to show up
in NXT. They wouldn't do that.
They wouldn't do it.
They wouldn't do it.
They wouldn't. KO is the only one that could pull that off.
KO is the one that I would see. I could see them really doing that with.
Unless you do Rollins, but that would make no sense because then you
it wouldn't.
Out of the picture.
Rollins is way too WWE right now.
Yeah.
He's not happening.
He'll have a bitch fit.
For almost 10 years now. He's not going back to NXT. Nakamura, maybe, but no, because of the King thing.
Yeah.
And I think you take him out of the running because of Corbin. I think Corbin is interfering in this match 100%.
I would love for him to hit an end of days through a fucking ladder. on Nakamura
and just walk away and take his comeback.
Yep.
I would say a deep 6 just because of the fact that at the end of the day he's hurt himself. Like, why would you do that? You're
why
an
is
idiot.
WWE pushing? WWE is really pushing this right now. That's from their Instagram account.
Because it came from a Dallas Cowboys fan, bro. Look at the background.
Tell Edge to stop shopping on WWE Shop.
That was his Father's Day present. But yeah, I mean, it's
Riddle. Riddle is the other one. The only issue is the Randy Orton thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. So I was waiting for you to say something like that. I was like, I don't think they're gonna do it.
But there's been more than a little bit of noise between Randy and Karrion Kross. There's been way more than a little bit of noise there. Like, there have been some legit, like, talk shit, get hit type things going off between them. When Randy literally was like, when you gonna stop playing with them kids and come up there and fight and fight with the big boys?
So for what it's worth, Randy's been talking shit to everyody on NXT though. Because you remember he had a spat with Ciampa not too long ago.
And still mad about that. But I'm still mad that hasn't happened. But Randy going to NXT could make it happen. Just saying.
The question is if he'll allow that to happen. And that's the thing
that's
annoying.
If you remember correctly, didn't Randy want to have a feud with somebody from NXT?
He's wanted to have a feud with more than a few people.
Yeah, but like the thing is, remember, they're no longer seeing NXT as the main roster type of thing. Like
I don't think Randy gives a rat's ass anymore. It keeps him from traveling.
He doesn't.
He doesn't have to go anywhere. And then it allows him to break free of Riddle. Like, he's like, oh, I don't have to go anywhere. I just have to show up to work once a week. And I don't have to go on the road no more. Sign me up.
And I think he wants to work with Trips down there and what they do.
Yeah, and it would make.
I would
sense.
love to see him down there, like, and he'll do it enhancement talent, but in a different way. Like he doesn't have to lose.
No, he doesn't.
You know,
and again, there's a lot of smaller guys down there, but there are some guys that they're not using that would like Randy Orton versus fucking Johnny Gargano.
Oh, we can go on and on about.
Oh my god, I just thought of the most terrible thing.
Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole,
Pete Dunne. Oh my god.
Yeah, that I need to see.
Randy versus Pete Dunne.
Who else?
Oh, like I said, I just thought of the most terrible thing ever.
What's that?
Could you imagine? It wouldn't be in a one-on-one match. It'd have to be in a tag match. But I hate putting this out into the universe for it to happen. But could you imagine Orton hitting the RKO on Wesley?
Oh God, yes, that would give you the Evan Bourne 2.0.
Oh my goodness.
Nah, you know what would be crazy for whoever hit the Money in the Bank match to show up at NXT UK. That shit would blow the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So for them to show up on Walter, because you know how Walter's always kind of he's there but he's not there. Nigga's basically Thanos at this point.
Mm-hmm.
For somebody just to roll up on Walter on some real jump.
What they should have done,
come in a hoodie and just RKO the shit out of Walter, and then hold up the Money in the Bank would just be.
What they should have done, to be honest, is open it up either like to 9 and then 3 from each show, Raw, SmackDown, NXT.
I agree with you.
And then at that point, then you say, "Oh shit!" So somebody from NXT could win it and challenge anybody on the main roster, or somebody from the WWE from the main roster can actually come down and challenge the NXT.
What they needed to do is not have their panties in a bunch, take John Morrison out this match, put Keith Lee in. That's what they should have did. But we're not going to talk about that.
Another they could have done is they could have been. It would have been difficult. You kept it at 8, right? But then you pick 2 from each one, including NXT UK. Then you open that door as well.
Yep.
And like you were saying,
they always want to talk about opening the forbidden door. They won't even open the doors in their own house.
And I know that's the worst part. Like, bro, you have like 4.
Imagine this match with Ilya Dragunov in it, bro.
I mean, this is why that one NXT versus Survivor Series NXT versus Raw and SmackDown is like one of the best in years because of the fact that you had NXT in their talent going off against main roster talent, and then they even let NXT win it. I was like, oh my gosh, I was shocked at that one. I don't know about you guys. I'm like, they let NXT win this one.
Is for NXT UK to invade NXT, and then everybody's like, oh, NXT's not going to be in it this time, and then NXT UK go to one of the main shows, beat up the show, and the NXT go and beat up the other show, and then when like it's like you have a 4-way split where it's like who the fuck is on anybody's side at this point, and you just have everybody beating the shit out of everybody. But they're not going to have people fly back and forth between the UK to do that.
Well, I thought UK was pre-recorded.
It is
pre-recorded.
So they can still have them come down and do the shows here if it's pre-recorded for a certain point.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
They definitely could.
And just have them stay in the NXT area. Like, boom, stay here. We'll call you as needed to come up for the shows or whatever. You know,
and then you have it where, because the thing about Survivor Series that I've always hated that they started doing when the newer generation came is it's like as soon as Survivor Series comes around, all the other feuds are put on hold. I'm like, no. Keep the feuds going, but even if you have the whole like you would have to have Walter and Dragunov on the same side. Like have it where like these dudes cannot get along, period. Like just they're attacking each other. Be damn with the brand, and you have it just be pure and unadulterated chaos. Because then you would have Pete Dunne facing against Walter, and then you would have Dragunov against Pete Dunne, and you know you would have all of these little things. But then you would also have those moments where like Randy would stop and be like, "Nope, that's not my fight. That's not my fight," and he's just gonna walk away like, "Oh, not doing this."
Well, see, here's the thing. That's why I miss about Survivor Series, the original way it was intended. And Benny remembers this probably. Is you have this main feud, and then they bring in help, and from there, the new feuds begin because of the additional people involved in the matches.
Yeah, before there was brand supremacy.
Yeah, well, what they were doing before is they were building stuff. How NXT kind of sort of builds war games now. You had feuds being built into Survivor Series like that.
When is War Games again?
November.
Ooh, I think they're starting to build it now.
We have to wait because don't forget the draft is in November too.
I get it. I really do. But when I look at who they may be using for it, unless they call up your boy Santos Escobar, that's the only thing that would mess it up.
They're not calling him up, bro.
They're not calling him up. That's what I'm saying. They're not calling him up, and they're not gonna call up anybody else involved in that. So like. And now that they don't have Undisputed Era, I truly believe I'm calling it now. I don't know who that fourth is going to be.
That's what I was just about to ask you. Who
I don't know. I don't know who that fourth is going to be. Hell, it may be Dominic. That would be sick. But Hit Row versus Legado del Fantasma. That's what it's looking like. Or what they could do is they could add a woman because Hit Row has a chick. And they could do it that way.
I wouldn't be against that. However, if they do that and then they turn around and be like, all right, if we're mixing this, we don't need to do a women's one, I wouldn't like that.
Well, again, the problem with the women's one is that they butchered the women's roster. Like they've absolutely torched that roster. So there isn't, I mean, again, this is not until November, so I'm sure things can continue to develop. But at this point, the only new fresh spark they have is Mandy Rose being on NXT, and now you have the Frankie Monet brand because they swapped out Aaliyah. So that's the only like female faction. The Way looks like it's on the way out because you got the whole Index thing. So who else is there to do it? You
can actually still throw some stuff together as long as you don't break up Dakota and Raquel before then. But Dakota and Raquel.
True.
You find yourself two other.
You muted yourself.
Sorry about that phone call.
Oh.
Hold on for 1 second. Let me take care of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I don't see a date for War Games yet. I'm not saying Benny's wrong, but I don't see a date for it yet. So
yeah, and that's the difficulty with that. But I just want to throw that out there, like Hit Row versus Legado del Fantasma. Ooh,
yeah.
And it's like, again, imagine if they had a Money in the Bank in NXT, because there is so many interceding feuds. It's like you already know who's going to be in there, and that's my problem with the way that they keep booking this. Is that, and the Money in the Bank doesn't do a great job of creating stars or feuds.
My bad. Now, so what I was thinking, all right, you're not going to get Xia Li on there because now Xia Li's starting to do they hot-shotted this beef now, and I don't like that.
I don't like it either.
I don't like it either. They went too fast with that. They should have built her up faster before they threw her in there Raquel. But you have that. You still got Mercedes Martinez around.
Good luck. We got to screw her head back on straight before she can come back out.
Yeah, you got, but though we're talking months down the line, so we're hoping.
You got to put it back like a freaking Lego.
You got Saray, you got EO, who EO is, there's a cage so she can jump off stuff. If EO's in it, you might as well just throw Zoe Stark in it on the other side as well, since they're tag champions. And then, at that point, it's just a matter of find somebody.
Yeah, that also didn't make sense.
No, it didn't.
You debut Tegan Nox for them to drop the titles, and then you call up Tegan Nox.
Yep. Love it.
What?
Absolutely love it.
What? I swear, they better call it. They better use Candice LeRae like one good time, just a one-off, and have Tegan cause her and Shotzi the titles. Just to wrap the story
sense, bro.
This is 100% why when they said that Triple H gets 60 days notice before before WWE calls somebody up, I said it's 100% bullshit.
Nope.
I think it might be 60 days in regards to like champions, maybe.
What, 60 days after the fact?
It's like, we're gonna call them up somewhere in this 60-day march. Oh, we're gonna do it the next night. Yeah, bye.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of is with like champions, and that's it. Because that to me, that gives them time to like write a storyline to get the belt off of them. But in regards to like anybody else, it's like if it's not a champion, we call them whenever we want. That's it. Look at Tegan Nox. They built up her return for what? Just a show off in that Candice LeRae match.
To show up, have her drop the titles, and then show up the next show with Shotzi and take her first name. They took her first name.
They took Shotzi's last name too.
They took Shotzi's last name. Because even though she doesn't have a black heart, it's always a green heart, but still.
It had me laughing. Somebody, Cultaholic does their 9 pitches thing. They said that they before they added Natalya and now Tamina into the match, they were hoping that there was going to be Shotzi and Tegan. And they said the Shotzi was going to help Tegan climb the ladder to win the briefcase. And then Tegan was going to open the briefcase and Shotzi's last name was going to be in it. I'm so done.
And with
so messed up.
And with that, fellas, and with that, we're gonna end the show.
So messed up.
With that, we're gonna end the show. Thank you, Cultaholic.
Oh, y'all cold for that. Y'all cold for that.
I want to thank everybody for joining us. Till next time, we out.